Okay, let's just review quickly. We started the next chapter. We are on next chapter begins on 13b6 right at the bottom, and we're going to really be starting from the Gemara over here, which is where we first started last session. But let's just quickly review what the Mishnah is talking about. The Mishnah was telling us that there's an isur, a concept of forbidden, the fact that something is forbidden when you are trying to talk about shaving or washing clothing. Okay, so megalachim and mechabsin, and really, if it tells you that you're allowed to do it for these extenuating circumstances, you know that you're not allowed to do it outside of those extenuating circumstances. So what are they? A person traveled, he wasn't able to do it before. A person was in prison, he wasn't able to do it before. A person was kidnapped, he wasn't able to do it before. A person who was put in cherem, right, he was minudeh, he wasn't able to do it before. Someone that asked a chacham, and the chacham gave him permission to be able to do it in this way. So until he had this request from the chacham, he wasn't able to do it. So all the common denominator is that for one reason or another, it's not something I could have done before.
Kidnapping was like an
Nazir, Mitzorah, what?
It was a common item.
Yeah, what do you mean? What do you mean? They learn Gemara in Mexico. Okay, fine. Mitumato letarato. Someone who becomes tahor, right, from a Mitzorah. And same thing with the washing the laundry. Also, we give a bunch of cases where you could not have done it before. Then the Mishnah shifts. The Mishnah says, okay, how about other things that made it that you couldn't have washed it before? Not a circumstantial thing in terms of where you were or da-da-da-da. What if the thing is different? Doron, you can't hear? Oh, you can't hear. Doron. Yeah. Morris, can you hear the audio?
Is it mute? No.
You don't hear the audio? I don't know what's going on. No, it's not from there. Hold on. Mute is not on.
Oh wait, maybe I have
Now I unmuted it.
the ear.
Yes, you do. You have it on your Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Take off the Bluetooth.
Connect.
Where's your Bluetooth? I'm not a Apple guy.
Start it up.
Okay.
Wait. Okay. Forget this item.
I have a question.
Technology.
When the Mishnah gives you all of these cases,
Yeah.
and they're specific, could you have toldot from these specific cases, or is
Hello,
it have
do
to
you
be
hear
these
it?
specific cases?
No, absolutely. It will be something that we'll add to as and when situation. And the second whole part of the Mishnah, which is really what I was getting to, before I realized that no one could hear me. Did we just turn it off?
Oh, it's on iPhone, yeah.
Okay, can you hear now? Doron, אתה שומע? Morris? Yes? Yes or no? The sound is low, but okay. I think you said yes. All right, so let's go. So the Mishnah continues and then says, what if the situation is not what changed, but rather the thing itself? Mitpachot yadayim, hand towels, barber's cloths, right? Bath towels, someone who's suffering from some sort of a flow. So all these different things that no matter, someone gave birth, there's no way I could have prepared for this because the amount of stuff I'm going through is it's too much. They're able to do that as well. Shakol Adam, Asurim. Everyone else is Asur. Okay, so that's the Mishnah. Comes the Gemara, and the Gemara says, why is everyone else not allowed? Like the last words in the Mishnah. How come everyone else Shakol Adam Asurim? Kiditana, the Gemara answers, Anshe Mishma, Anshe Ma'amad, they're not allowed to take a haircut or to wash their clothes during the time of the watch, but on Chamishi, on Thursday of their watch, right before Shabbat, then mutarim lekvod Shabbat. What's the reason? If you're going to let the guy shave during the week, then he's going to start coming in unkempt. So therefore, in order that we make sure the guy's going to do it, what you do is you take the option of shaving off the table. The guy now knows he's not going to be able to do it unless he does it now. And that forces him to be able to start. So too over here, we say the same thing with regards to these isurim as well. Okay? So far so good?
Didn't you say that if a person generally has a beard, so trimming it a little or it doesn't matter, so 5 days into the holiday, it's not a big deal?
No, it's not. It's not a huge deal. But we were not worried about the 5 days. We were worried that the guy hasn't shaved his beard for 3 months.
Oh, okay.
So in order to make sure that you shave it so it looks nice, right? Yeah. So we made you do it before. Otherwise, you would have to wait till Friday. So the guy, he thinks to himself, and I won't be able to do it if I don't do it. So the fact that I can't do it means that I'm going to move it up.
Change the routine.
Okay, says the Gemara. So now this is new from 14a, 1 at the bottom. Gemara says as follows. By Reb Zera asked, Avda lo aveda, erev haregel. Let's say a person, before the holiday, okay, so right before the holiday, he lost something. Now, because he's so busy checking every possible place he's ever been, the guy's running to his office, he's running to here, he's running to there. So his time lost. He doesn't have time to be able to do it. Kivan de'anis, since he's honest because he didn't plan to do this, but he needs this object for the holiday. So the fact that he's looking for it means he doesn't have the time. Mutar, do we say that therefore it's mutar? Or dilma, or maybe kivan lo mucha milsa. Lo, since it's not obvious to everyone else that this is why we allowed you to do it. So if we allow you to do it, right? Then they might think that it's mutar. We don't have to gizera. Now, that translation is, I think, one of the ways of understanding it. Look at Rashi for 1 second. You see, it's 5 lines down in the narrow lines. De lo muchacha milsa. You see it?
What's the bold words?
De lo muchacha milta. Right there. Okay. De lo yadi kuli alma. The whole world does not know da'anusu haya. They don't know that you lost your AirPods.
Right.
And that's why you were running around, and that's why.
And there's no way for them to know.
There's no way for them to know. So since it's not muchach, ela yomeruhu mechaven lashot adam moed. They would say, the guy just he pushed it off to the holiday, and you see it's mutar. You see you're allowed to shave on the holiday. Even if you didn't have a reason, like you just came back from being kidnapped. Okay, fine. So the Gemara says, so therefore that would not be a case. We would not extend the idea over there. Fascinating, actually. I just saw this today. There's the very first kosher for Shabbat and holiday mobility scooter.
What does that mean?
Wild.
What does that mean? Mobility?
It's approved by Tzomet and whatever in Israel, and also got a hashgacha from the OK hashgacha here in the United States.
What does it do?
What does it do? The machine is always on. It never goes off. So you set it in Shabbat mode. In Shabbat mode, never goes off. The Rav Shlomo Zalman said that when you turn it on, it shouldn't react right away. Okay? They create a system where whatever you're doing doesn't automatically and directly turn on the electricity. What it does is it gets rid of the thing that's stopping the electricity from going. So imagine if you made the gas pedal operate mechanically like a brake pedal. So in other words, imagine the engine is running at full speed.
Where it doesn't fluctuate.
The gas is really, it's something that's stopping it. When you step on the gas, it takes it out, and then the machine is operating as fast as it could, which is what it would do anyway, except for the fact that the gas pedal was operating like a brake.
It's
slowing down.
It's a reverse gas pedal, exactly.
Slowing down the energy is not a problem.
Sorry?
Slowing
You're
down
not
the
slowing it
energy.
down.
You're not slowing it down.
No?
You're just removing,
separating-
or as an example, you're letting the
You're
gear,
redirecting the energy.
or you're letting the gear interact with
You're
it. So
redirecting it. You're not creating it.
let me make it easier. Imagine, I'm not saying this one. I'm saying imagine. Imagine I have an engine running full speed.
Get it?
What?
Get one?
No,
Chashuv.
I'm waiting for my scooter first.
That was good.
Good. Right. Imagine the engine's working full speed, right? But the thing's not moving. You know why? Because the gear, which is connected to the wheels,
Like it's under-
is removed.
Engage.
Disengaged. What does the gas pedal do? It just, as you push it, it pushes the gear completely mechanical.
Isn't that so wild?
Zero electricity. It just pushes it towards the electricity and then it catches it. Okay?
But
Hold on. Rav Shlomo Zalman said that's not enough. Because if it happens immediately after you're doing it, then the grama, you can't tell, whole thing. So he had to think that there would need to be a time delay. So they built the time delay in. Then they built this, and each organization had a little chumrot till finally they satisfied the okay.
And then they
No,
said
it's
you
a
can't
regular-
do it because it's Gemari Dain.
No, they let them do it. Hold on.
I've seen someone drive.
But part of the okay says,
What if it breaks?
what does it say?
If it breaks while
There's
you're
a
riding?
sign
Shabbat mobile.
on the mobility. Okay, what do they call it, by the way? They don't call it to get to shul faster. They call it the Shabbato. So they're removing as many marit ayins as they can, and still it says the sign. You have to wear a sign. That has to not wear. It says,
Special thing.
"I am a sick guy." I'm a chole because it's only mutar for a chole.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, you missed that.
So I'm getting. That's what I was getting to.
But why? If
After all that.
Because
After all that.
because these heterim that we allowed them to use were only heterim that we would be allowed to use as a chole. Okay, so let's say marit ayin would be one. Let's say something else. But a guy who can't go to shul without it, guy's stuck. He's locked in his apartment forever because he's a chole. So for a chole we allow. But what do we make the guy do? We make them put. There's a sign on the bike that says this is a Shabbat vehicle. I don't have no idea.
I really want to know. Because imagine a guy just cruising around at like 10 miles
But
an
did you
hour.
say-
Forget it. In the summer, I'll go to deal.
But you said it like Yosef said.
Can't ride a bike, but you can
Old
ride
guy,
the Shabbat
sick
mobile.
guy that's a little far from shul, wants to go to shul,
Yeah.
and the bus is running, and blah, 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 it's okay to get on the bus. Can you say that?
No comment.
Okay, there you go.
And it's
Why'd
not
you say
okay.
no?
It's not okay.
I did. I just added comment.
No, somebody said that.
I made a no comment. Okay, fine. Let's go. There are things I'm not. We're not.
Oh, no, but somebody said
I'm not
that.
getting involved.
You said that.
I'm not on that bus.
Somebody said that.
Okay. Now again, it depends. What kind of chole? What does he need it for? All different things. There's other things too. By the way, you can have a chole that's so sick they're able to go. They could go to the pharmacy and pick up medicine
Okay, that's understandable.
on Shabbat. You have your non-Jewish cleaning lady brings your item or whatever. You figure it out, or you bring the card. You bring before Shabbat. You have an account there because the guy's chole. When it's chole, there's certain things you're going to bring in. Okay, but we don't want to get into it. My point was just that you see that this kivan de lo mucha chamilta, right? Sometimes you have to deal with people don't know. So what if I let them know? What if I have a sign on me that says
Disclaimer.
I'm a chole? I'm able to. I lost my
That's
AirPods.
a disclaimer for the thing.
Right? Maybe we could change it because then it's not lo muchamilta. Okay. Gemara answers. So the Gemara asks that as a question. Do we say it's the same because he's honest, or do we say it's not the same because it's not immediately evident to people? Gemara answers. Amar Abaye answers. Yomeru kol asrikin asurin. What will happen if we do this? Okay, hold on one second. On Reb Zera, okay. What will we do if we allow this? Kol asrikin asurin. Srike baitus mutarin.
What's Sirikin?
So we're going to look at Rashi. Yomeru kol asrikin asurin. Klomar de baitus haya yachol lisrok chalotav beli shehut. He was able to comb his chalot without waiting. Fi shaya lo dfus. Ve'af al piken asur mishum da'amri kol asrikin. Hachanami kiv lo de miglaya lekuli alma onse yomru kuli alma asurin legaleach. What the Gemara is basically doing is we're bringing in an example of something, okay? There was an opportunity that they had to rely on something in the house of Baitus, which is something that's referred to in the Mishnah in a few different places, okay? So like when you had a matzah, the matzah would have a decoration on it, okay? That was something from the house of Baitus. They were experts in it. Now,
Baitus is a family?
Baitus is a family, yeah. Now, they were a family that was experts in specific types of baking. It comes up in, I believe it's a Mishnah in Yuma, if I'm not mistaken, okay? So basically the point was, what happens if there's a certain type of person that knows how to make it, and there's another way to be able to make this in a quick way, not in the way that requires a lot of effort. So you could do something that requires a lot of effort, or you could do it in a quick way. The Gemara says, if we let you do it the quick way, what's going to happen? People won't know
That there was a process.
that there was a process. And since they won't know there's a process, they're going to assume that everyone's allowed to do the non-process way. Okay?
So sirkin is just a baked good, like a specific baked good?
It's a process that they would use to make something on top of the
process,
of the chalot.
not an actual
like a
item.
lot-
Yes, and it was a lot of, and it was a lot. It was something that was done with a level of expertise. Okay, but they created a way to be able to do it where you didn't need that expertise. So the Gemara said, if we let you do it in the non-expertise way, the people won't know which way you did it, so they'll assume that the expertise way is also okay. Says Abaye, the same way we said that over there for srikin and baitus, right? So too over here, we're not going to allow you to do it because no one will know why we allowed you to shave, even though your AirPods were missing.
But I'm confused about something. It says, can it be that all other sirikin are forbidden, right? So what does that mean, all other sirikin? What other sirikin?
Non-expert.
No, but that would be referring... We just said sirikin is the process of making specific
Special.
Yes.
items.
So
what's all other items?
Baitus figured out the way to be able to do it in a way where it doesn't require that effort.
all other
But people will
processes-
look at it and say it doesn't make sense.
Non-baitos.
Baitus is the process that would have been allowed.
Right.
Okay? So the other one is the way that's not allowed.
Okay.
Baitus figured out how to hack the system. But says that what will happen, people will look at it and they won't differentiate between the process of Baitus and the process of everybody else. So, and that way is Asur. So therefore we made even the Baitus process Asur as well. Same thing over, parallel over here.
Sirikin that's being done by baitos.
Sirkin that was done by Baitus should have been allowed, but if we let them do it, then people will say, what, all the other Sirkins Asur, and this one's Mutar, must be they're all allowed.
Right.
Okay? Because they won't know the difference. Same thing over here. If we let if a guy lost something, he isn't honest. But if we let him do it, people will just say, like, they're letting people willy-nilly have haircuts. Okay? So the Gemara answers, but according to you, right, that you're saying that if it's something which is not done in the very public way, it will be mutar. Hada Amar Rav Asi Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Rav Asi said in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, a certain halacha, if a person only has one article of clothing, we mentioned this in the Mishnah, you're allowed to wash it on Chol HaMoed. Hatam nami, yomur kol asrikin asurin, srike baitus mutarin. I don't know how many suits you have. I don't know how many t-shirts you have. So if we let you wash your t-shirt, because you have one t-shirt, and nobody else knows that you have one t-shirt, and we're not worried about that, so why would we be worried about it over here when the guy had his own individual reason why he was not able to shave before the holiday?
Done in public, one's done in private.
I have a question.
No, both of them are done in private.
No, the haircut's done in public, no? People
are
are seeing
seeing
the,
it in
the
public.
haircut.
No, we did not allow you to do it even in private.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We never allowed you
I
to do
would
it.
think that the private, you'd get away with all these things.
No.
Because you're not exposing the fact that
The
T-shirt you put in.
the reason why we're worried in private is because once we say something is asur, like we said, in public of maritayin, we don't let you do it in private either.
But there were things that we said that you could do.
If there's a specific reason why you should be allowed to, we
These
covered
would
that.
fit in- these would fit into that category.
These don't fit into the one that would allow you to.
No,
Maybe it's not Mehudar for the holiday for someone to wear dirty clothes.
No, it isn't. So, but the Gemara is asking, it's also not mehudar for you to not go shaved. But we bit that bullet because we don't want people learning that you can just shave with no
Whatever you
reason.
want.
So let's bite the bullet and say, so people don't learn that you can't wash for no reason. Why would anyone know that you have one tunic?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. The Gemara answers, ha itmarala, right? With regards to that, Amar Bar Ashi, ezoro mochiach alav, that you're able to see on this guy from his belt, the guy is trying to make sure. No, he's trying to make sure that he's protecting his what's it called? His cloak, right? So when the guy has something that lets you know that he only has one, right? Then that already is enough to let you know that it's not a classic reasoning. Let's look at Rashi.
What would be something that would let you know?
Rashi is giving the exact answer. Ezuro mochiach alav. Demi she'en lo ela chaluk echad. Guy only has one article of clothing. Poshto umitatef b'makterino v'chogro be'ezaro. The guy, when he's washing his object, what does he do? He's wearing his undershirt and his belt underneath, that he would have been wearing on top of his clothing. He's now wearing all this other clothing to do the washing. Okay? So when someone's watching the guy wash, you see he doesn't have his cloak on. Right? So the Gemara is answering, Ahlan, Anishma Kvod Harav. Ahlan. Okay? Bruchim Habayim, Bruchim Habayim.
As he's saying, when he goes to the public laundry, and
Now
has
he's
no
going to
shirt,
wash.
no
Guy
shirt.
standing there in his nightgown.
It's obvious.
Obviously, he doesn't have. He
There's
doesn't.
no clothes.
Exactly. So we built in the way that people will know that's only if you have one article of clothing. So the Gemara answered, you try to bring a proof from there to knock me out with regards to my AirPod guy. That's not a good example. Here, automatically, I could see that you don't have another article of clothing. Ezuro mochiach alav. His belt says about him, so to speak.
So for that guy, you were allowed to clean it. He's allowed to clean his tunic on Chag
Yes. Why?
because it's visible that
It's visible he only has one.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Says the Gemara. Now, I have other questions on this. I have other questions because, you think about when the guy's washing the small article, the small towels. When your towels are in the water, no one can see which towels you're washing. So how will they know which towels you're washing? There's no external sign telling you the heter, right? So far, everything is so far so clear. Well, we'll come back to it. Everyone understands the process. The Mishnah says if you couldn't do it, it's mutar. The Gemara asks, what if there's an outside reason that it's mutar? I lost my iPad, my iPods.
There's also a very easy way to hack that system, right?
What do you mean?
Go to the laundromat with no extra shirt.
Go with a nightgown and wash all the rest of your clothing. Yeah.
There's a scam on it.
The point
I
here is
understand, but I'm saying, but there's a built-in hack.
the point here is
There's
not.
another problem.
Hold on. Whenever.
You're a fraud.
One second. Hold on a second. There's no hack. You want to break Shabbat at home. Break Shabbat at home. Like, no one's stopping you right. You want to do something. You're not. But here we're saying the guy is allowed to do it. But we want to stop you because people might get it wrong. But what if I figure out a way to make sure that they're not getting it wrong? That's the hack. The hack is not to make it mutar. It was already mutar.
Right.
We tried to take it away from you.
There's a stringency.
Yes, we were going to make it a stringency on what you were allowed to do. On now I'm just saying, look, I have a way to make sure that people will know. Okay. You understand the difference. So if I'm wearing an undershirt but washing my second pair of clothing, so then I wasn't allowed to do that. So what did I gain? Okay.
Right, I was looking at it the wrong way. I was looking at it, the melacha is allowed.
Because you could see
Because
that.
you could see that.
But it's not.
Yeah.
Okay. The melacha is allowed because you have one. We're trying to take that away because of Marit Ayin. The answer to that is wear the undershirt. Okay. Rav Ashi Matni. Rav Ashi taught by Rav Zera. He had the whole question of Rav Zera in his notebook. It was a little bit different. By Rav Zera, Uman Shavda lo Avedai Varegel. Let's say you have a shoemaker. Let's say you have a blacksmith. Now he lost something before the holiday. Mao, what's the halacha? Kivan de umanu, since the guy is a uman, he's an expert, he's a craftsman. Muchacha milta, everyone understands that the reason why he couldn't do his haircut before the holiday is because everyone was bringing him all their goods right before the holiday to fix the blackmaker, the blacksmith. Okay, he was busy with his umanut.
Milta just means it's clear.
Yeah, muchach means it's obvious. Milta means the thing. The thing is obvious. Odilma, or maybe kivad lo muchacha milta kihanach. Over here, this element is not the same muchach milta. Okay, like the other ones, right? By everything else, yeah. Lo is not allowed. Now, there's a couple ways to explain what this means. What does it mean that the artisan is not as obvious as the other ones in the Mishnah? What is that? What do you think that is? I could imagine a few different understandings here.
I don't think I understand the question.
Sorry?
You said the blacksmith everyone knows because before the holiday the guy was in a tizzy.
Yeah. So the Gemara is saying, do we say that therefore he's allowed? Or do we say, no, it's not the same as the other muchacha miltas in the Mishnah, where the Mishnah gave you all those cases that you could rely on.
Oh, the kidnapping.
Yeah, is this the same as that or not? Yeah, that's the question.
Because the special.
But in what way is it not the same, I'm asking you?
Because he's serving the people.
Sorry?
The special artisan, he's serving the people.
Okay.
So he's needed by them to do the job. He's
So,
not,
but-
not doing it for his own good, he's doing it for their good.
No, but the Gemara is saying,
more public.
the Gemara is saying is that the evidence that he was otherwise unable to cut his hair is not as clear as the other cases in the Mishnah.
Well,
Why is it not as clear?
If he's an artisan, then he's public facing by nature. So
Okay.
maybe if he's
People understand that he's busy with his
no,
job.
if he's looking for an object and he's to the point where he couldn't get a haircut, then it's got to be obvious he wasn't in the store or people couldn't get to him.
Not self-serving.
So why is it less obvious? He's a public-facing person.
No, it should be more obvious.
The Gemara is saying it's less obvious.
I don't know how it's less obvious.
Yeah,
You have
I
a
don't
zav
see
that's
how.
a private
It should
item.
be very obvious.
Less obvious. In what way?
It's less obvious than
But he should be
the
able
ones in the Mishnah. That's what it
It's less
says.
obvious that he should be able to do it?
Yes.
Wow, really?
Why? Why would that
You
be?
could say he just shut his store. The guy.
He's
I don't
smart
know.
enough to know? He's a specialist?
No, but why is it not obvious to everyone else that this is why he's able to have a haircut? Because he obviously was very busy with whatever.
Maybe not everyone goes to him. I don't know.
So the simplest way of reading the Gemara is maybe he's a barber, but not everybody knows he's a barber. So a person sees the guy
that
on
famous.
on Chol Moed. You see a guy cutting his hair. I don't know. What do I know? How do I know what he had or doesn't have? Whereas when it comes to a guy who's been kidnapped, everybody knows. His picture's hanging in the lobby, right? So other things were more muchach milta
I don't
that.
understand how a zav is though.
It's a good question, Zav. Zav is a different item, though. Zav is a different
You
item.
can't learn Torah if you're not a zav. Maybe so in the knis that they would know would be very public.
Could be, yeah. He's not allowed to be as engaged with other people.
I think you have to dip in the mikveh.
Yeah, but there's another difference also. The Zav was mentioned.
Zav? Tell me that.
The Zav is a person who's having like bodily emissions, so he needs to have all these different towels all the time. You know, he can't. He's going through the laundry very quickly. Okay, now where are we? Hold on.
Under 1482.
Yeah, look. It says unresolved.
Or maybe not. The Gemara says teku. What does teku mean?
Teku means
Let
there's
it
no
stand.
answer until.
Teku, by the way, wait 1 minute. They use teku in today's language. It's fascinating. In like a football match that ends 3-3, it's called 3-3 teku. That's they call it on the sports channels.
Really?
Yeah, and in modern Hebrew,
Soccer.
Oh, in Hebrew.
soccer.
Hebrew.
Yeah.
We're not in London.
Oh, in modern Hebrew, they use that word.
Yeah. Maybe it's
I
two
don't
field
watch
goals.
soccer and I don't watch in Hebrew. There's 2 reasons we wouldn't get that. We have shootout.
Yeah.
Teku.
What? So it would be called teku. What does teku stand for? Harry, say it again.
I don't know what it stands for, but you find out when Mashiach comes.
Oh,
basically.
teku stands for Tishbi. Eliyahu had Tishbi. Tishbi yashev kushiot u'ba'ayot. Eliyahu will answer the questions and the challenges.
To be addressed.
In other words, like we're gonna have to wait until Mashiach comes.
I
Yeah.
just learned in a beracha when the guy asked the question, "What happens about the guy who drinks olive oil on his own?" He goes, "You'll ask when Eliyahu comes.
When Eliyahu
you'll find out.
comes,
Nobody
yeah.
drinks olive oil on your own."
Yeah, the anigrin.
Yeah, the anigrin.
Ketzah B'vachin. Yeah. Okay. So the Gemara says, teku. We're not sure. We don't know. But I think also the teku really kind of, ironically, even though it says unresolved, is actually that's an answer too. Unresolved is also an answer.
Yeah, it means the last answer stands.
It means that we can't tell you that you're allowed.
So does
You
that
see,
mean
that's
you
the
can
point.
do it?
No
You can
decision.
do it?
Sorry?
Can you do it then?
No, can't.
Cannot. The unresolved.
Can't. We tried to say that it's the same as the others. The Gemara says maybe, maybe not. The Gemara says I don't know. If I don't know, so then what's the halakha? The halakha is you can't do
Yeah,
it.
Is it a chumrah if you don't know?
What do you mean chumrah?
Like,
No, I don't know means I don't know if this is enough of a everybody knows
because you're trying to find
as everything else. You're trying to find an exemption.
So it falls into the cautious category.
Correct.
No, it do.
Cautious. So unresolved, ironically, is also a halachic answer. We don't know the answer, but that's also an answer. Like as an example, let's say I told you that this cup of water and this cup of water, I'm not sure, one of them has poison in it.
You don't leave either one.
Which one? I'm not sure. In the end, you're not drinking either. Right? So unresolved really gives you a practical answer. Okay. But Lema'aseh, we learn from this unresolved also other things too. What happens if I'm in a scenario and I'm not sure if that's muchach hamilta enough? We also learn from this unresolved that would be the halakha in your cases as well.
no exemption.
It would be a no exemption. Okay. Says the Gemara, let's continue. Mimidinat Hayam, top of 14a3. Mimidinat Hayam, the guy came back from Chol HaMoed, Mimatnitan Delo Kirebi Yehuda. Our Mishnah obviously does not hold like Rabbi Yehuda. The Tanya, because there's in the bright Rabbi Yehuda, Omer, someone who comes from Cyprus, comes back to Israel, he's lo yigalech, he's not allowed to shave on Chol HaMoed. Why? Shelo bereshut, right? Because in the case of a person who was held captive, right, it was not up to him when he was coming, when he was not coming.
He could have addressed the issue.
Yeah, you could have addressed the issue. This is not something that it's not outside of your own. Yeah. Now look at Rashi. Rashi says, "Mipnei she'yatza shelo b'reshut." You see, right in the middle of the page. Kilomar ho'il v'lo yatza b'reshut acherim ele b'tzon atzmo. Since you left Cyprus, no one had to release you. There wasn't a prisoner swap, so therefore you could have left whenever you want. That's not an onus. You should have left early enough to get back in time to cut your own hair. No excuse.
But then why does the Mishnah say one who arrived from overseas, they're allowed?
That Mishnah says our Gemara is not going to Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda says Medinat Hayam is not a good answer. So our Mishnah that says Medinat Hayam is a good answer. Okay, Medinat Hayam means the countries of the sea. It really just means anywhere abroad, overseas, literally. Okay, so you came to Israel from wherever, but no one was holding you captive. If no one was holding you captive, then you're not honest. If you're not honest, you can't shave on Chol HaMoed. Okay? The Gemara continues. So far we know the Mishnah is not going to Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda disagrees. Okay. The Gemara says, what's the machloket? Amar Rava. Rava says, lashut. Divrei hakol asur. Let's say a guy, I don't know, he wants to go, sailboating around the world. That's what he wants to do. Kite surfing. The guy went on, a pleasure trip. He went just to enjoy himself. Divrei hakol asur. Everyone understands that's obviously asur to shave on Chol HaMoed.
That's lashut, it's like for pleasure?
Yeah, lashut, it means to sail, but it's saying the guy just went to sail. Yeah.
For no purpose. Really.
For no purpose. You'll see the opposite. You'll see why it's called lashut. But lemizonot, and if he went for a job, the guy had no food at home. He needed to go get a job overseas. Divrei hakol mutar. Everyone agrees that's mutar. So if you went for the purpose of food, everyone agrees, you now came back, mutar. If you went for the purpose of sailing, just for the pleasure trip, everyone agrees, no good. Lo nechleku. When did they argue, Rabbi Yehuda and our Mishnah? When the guy, he had food at home. He went not to, deal with the basics. The guy wanted to buy a nicer car. Okay? Mar medamile kilashut. The opinion that says that you're allowed to shave held that this is compared to the opinion that says that it's asur says this is like a pleasure trip. You didn't have to get yourself a Ferrari.
It's more.
You could have drove like a Honda. So this was all for your pleasure. So more in Parnasah is like pleasure. Therefore, if you left and didn't come back on time, this was for your own benefit. So now you can't shave on Chol HaMoed. Optional, exactly. The opinion that says that it's mutar to shave says no. Parnasah is parnasah. You left for a livelihood, more livelihood, basic livelihood. It's all livelihood. I had to go, and therefore I'm allowed to shave when I get back. So the question is, how do we look at a case where a person is looking to raise his standard of living?
But then what happens if you have a guy that is already, decently well off?
Yeah.
How do you know if he's going away for mezonot or if he's going away to just vacation and maybe he's going to take a meeting while he's in Cyprus, whatever?
If the guy could go on vacation, he's obviously not in the basic category.
But then you said the second answer was if he's going away, whether it's for mezonot or for...
So the other opinion says, if you're going to be able to add more parnasah, you need more parnasah, we don't call that pleasure. The only thing we call pleasure is actual pleasure.
Yeah, I'm going to Cyprus, I have a meeting there, but while I'm there, I'm going to stay an extra day on vacation, but no one knows I'm there, you know what I mean?
I think the argument would hinge on exactly what you just said. I'm going to stay an extra day. No one cares if on your business trip you also swam with the dolphins. That's not a problem. The issue is we
didn't go for that.
wanted you back on time for the holiday.
Dolphins, you went for the business.
But it's not about why you went. Wait a second. It's not about why you went. You could have gotten back in order in
Got
time
haircut.
and got the haircut before. What held you there was
Business.
pleasure. So if what held you there was pleasure, then
Are you
it's a
considering-
pleasure thing,
Right.
right? What you just did was you took a business guy. Let's say a guy went for mizonot, but now he finished shopping for mizonot.
Early.
Now he swam with the dolphins and he got back a day late.
No good.
No good. Because it doesn't. It's not
controlled
about.
he controlled
Right?
his
It's not
time.
about why you left when you
He
left.
controlled his time in order. He had control of his time to come back early and do what he had to
Correct.
do.
You
He didn't want to
you were in control. This was up to you.
But that's a thing from you could violate Shabbat at home. No one like you could do whatever you want. But what about from the optics of other people? Isn't this the idea also that it's a Mari Ta'ayin thing?
So that's a good question, but that's a good question no matter what. Let's say the guy left for mizonot. Guy didn't have food on the table. How is anyone going to know the difference between food on the table and extra?
They're not going to know.
They're not going to know. So if they're not going to know,
up to
you
you.
have the
Do
Marit
the right-
Ayin
do
question.
the right
The
thing.
Marit Ayin question is a question anyway. But what we're asking over here is, what was Rabbi Yehuda and the Chachamim arguing on? And the Gemara's answer is that they all agree if it's pure pleasure, for sure not. They all agree that if it's mizonot, basics food, that's considered to be a real honest. Because of, what's it called? Because he has nothing. The question is, what about if he already has the basics, he's now doing more? The Chachamim said that's still in the game, you still patur. The Rabbi Yehuda said, no, it's asur, okay? Because you have the option of being able to come back earlier, not make that money, and da-da-da-da.
So, Rabbi, it's disputed
Restricted.
whether you can do anything more than than to travel for the basic essentials and come back late. It's not like
That's one guy.
it's not the Ferrari category. It's anything more than if
Food
you're
on the
going
table.
for the basics. That's your patur if you arrive.
If you arrive late.
But if it's anything more, it's disputed whether you're allowed
Correct.
to get her.
So the Ferrari case is the case where they argue. Yeah?
Or anything more than the basics.
Anything more than the basics,
But I
yeah.
just wanna find out.
Yes, okay, so yes, that was Ferrari is setting the bar very high.
That's the other.
Yeah, Ferrari is setting it high. Okay, I don't know, it's always Ferrari and reserve cut, so between Metve, ask the Gemara, let's try and quickly do this last piece. Metve, we asked, how could that be? Amar Rebbe says near in Divrei Rebbe Yehuda kishiatza shelo b'reshut, v'divrei Chachamim kishiatza b'reshut. He said, Rebbe said, okay, that I believe that Rebbe Yehuda is logical when he left shelo b'reshut, okay, when he was not under someone else's thumb, like a kidnapped person. V'divrei Chachamim, and the Chachamim seems like they're logical kishiatza b'reshut. That in other words, Chachamim that say that you're allowed to shave when you get back on Chol Moed. That seems correct when it was dependent on other people. So if you're telling me that each one is correct in these cases, it seems like they argued even in the cases where it was up to somebody else or not up to somebody else, not just in a Honda and extra. Okay, so the Gemara is now going to prove it. My shelo b'reshut. Let's see how Rava does not work. You know what? Actually, we're going to miss Mincha. Okay. We're picking up on 1483. We're going to see now if we agree or disagree that they argued only in the case of extra or not. Okay? That's what we're up to. Baruch Hanei Le'olam. Amen.